And we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to the Firehose Project Info Session. I'm Marco, I'm one of the founders and a co-mentor here at the Firehose Project, and I'll run you through our info session today. Before I dive in, know that I'm going to answer questions after the info session. I already received a whole bunch of questions, so I'll go through at the very end. If you have any questions, either email me, you guys should have all received an email from me, or put them into the box next to the video, and I'll check there as well and answer them at the end. Now, what are we going to cover in the info session? First of all, I want to talk about why we're doing this. Why does it make so much sense to switch careers, to get into a technical field, to learn web development, software engineering, algorithms? Why does that matter in today's day and age? And then I want to talk a little bit about our program, how it works, what's different about it. I want to talk about our 2-week prep course, what's in there. I know a lot of you are coding in that already, which is awesome. Talk a little bit about that, and then I go into the full program and talk about all the web applications that we're building. We're talking about the algorithms. We talk about the entire support system, mentor sessions, Q&A forum, our community, and we talk about the Agile Team project as well and why that matters so much. All right, let's dive in. Why are we doing this? Why software engineering? I think there's 2 big reasons for that. There's many reasons, but I think 2 are the most important one. And the first one is that it is an extremely in-demand profession right now. It's growing tremendously, one of the fastest growing job sector overall across the US and probably across the world, right? If you're looking about the amount of open, unfilled positions right now is in the hundreds of thousands in the US alone, and that's growing every day for software engineering and for web development. That's one part, right? So being in demand and being in a growing field is always really good. If you enter that field and choose that as your career, you'll grow with that industry as you go along. Now, the other thing, which I think is even more important, is that it's an extremely fulfilling profession. Being at the core of building products that touch millions of people, right, that improve their lives, that help them every single day, something that people use every single day. That's something really, really powerful and something really motivating. And that's why we see a lot of people flocking towards that, going towards those fields, because never before have we had such a big chance of having impact on so many people's lives. And being the person who wrote the lines of code for the new feature that launched, made something easier for people, is really fulfilling. And if you're thinking about the future, right, you're thinking about the changes that are happening, how developers who are building Airbnb right now, they're at the core of that application, how people are renting their houses out now, all the way to like trying to go towards colonizing Mars and what SpaceX and NASA is doing. And you guess who is coding and writing the source code for rockets that eventually get our entire civilization onto Mars? These are software engineers, right? So that's how big you need to think about this and how big this is going to become in the future. So getting in on that today when there's already such big demand is almost a no-brainer for me. But these are 2 of the reasons. There's many more, right? But thinking about highly in-demand field and really fulfilling. Now, from this, like all the way from Mars, let's go back to Earth and talk about our intro course, right? We need to start somewhere. We need to start coding today and not wait for forever on making that first step. So what are we covering in our intro course? Our intro course covers HTML, CSS, and Ruby, right? We want you to build a portfolio page from scratch. We have you build that, and then we have you go through several Ruby coding challenges. We explain to you how to write your first small programs in the command line, in the terminal, and then we review that code, right? We check it, look if it's correct, give you feedback if you need to improve it, and once you completed all these coding challenges, you submitted them, we've given you the thumbs up, you officially accepted into our full program. At that point, you can choose your starting date. We start new students every Monday, and you can choose the pace, right? Do you want a 22-week program? Do you want a 42-week program? What works better for you? How many hours do you have to dedicate to coding every single week? Now, what happens in the full program? The full program is kind of like 2 paths that we run in parallel before we merge them together at the Agile Team project point. One track is pretty much the web application, or one path is the web application. In parallel, we do the algorithms and the data structures. The web applications track is where we build several web applications, and each of them builds on top of each other in complexity. First app that we're building is pretty simple. It's a quote generating app. We're taking a quote, we store it in a database, we randomly pull these quotes out and display it on the home page to our page visitors. And that app is pretty simple. We build it in about a week. Some students build it in several days. We make it mobile friendly, responsive, so it looks good on all your mobile phones, tablets, desktop, laptops, and you can share it with your friends, and it gives you a really good overview over Ruby, the programming language, as well as the Rails framework, and you understand how all the different pieces of a web application fit together. Next up, we go one step further and build a Yelp clone. And that's a bit more complex, and it's really an app that you can customize to what you need, right? We're looking at a lot of students who made this app into anything that they can track on maps, right? Pins on maps. So they made it the coolest relaxing areas and parks in New York City, the best dog parks, the best playgrounds that are kid-friendly in London, the best climbing spots across the US, right? We made it about pizza places, because I love pizza, but you can customize that app. And the features that we're building is everything from getting pins on maps, so providing an address, calculating that address, and transforming it into longitude and latitude coordinates, and putting them into the Google Map API and getting pins on maps back. That wouldn't be a fully complete application, so that's why we have user authentication, login, logout, registration, building a user dashboard, showing some analytics on it. We're having user comments. We allow star ratings. If new comments are created, we send automated email notifications to people who own the pizza place, the climbing place, who put up the initial relaxation spot in New York City. They get a notification, hey, somebody just gave you a rating. You should go check it out, and increase that user engagement on the platform that way. That's the second app that we're building. It's a lot more complex, and then we crank it up one more notch, and we build a two-sided marketplace. Now, when I say two-sided marketplace, what does that mean? It means we build an educational marketplace where there's instructors on one side, and they build video courses on whatever they want, and we're going to have students come in on the other side, and they're able to purchase, preview, and take part in those video courses that the instructors upload. So when I say purchase, that's a key word for what feature we need to build. We need to be able to process payments on our platform, and we do that by integrating with the Stripe API, and that means we can then process credit and debit card payments directly on our platform. Now, this app is a lot more complex than the quote generator or the Yelp clone that we built previously, because it's two-sided, meaning there's two different user roles, right? We have the instructors, we have the students. Now we need to keep track on a database level who has access to what, which student previewed certain courses, which student bought courses, how does the money flow through the platform, do we as the platform owner get a cut, do the student get a discount, do the instructors get a cut, and so forth. And we have to track all of that. And on top of that, we obviously make user registration, login, logout, all of that, video uploading and streaming, all of that possible as well. But it gets us pretty deep into the database. Next up, we go into test-driven development. That's the industry standard for all software engineers and web developers out there, where we build automated software tests that make sure that our features that we're building are working, they're functional, and they're not broken. And to do that, we're using a technique called test-driven development. And as one of our graduates who works now at a company described, that's the bread and butter. You need to know how to do that in order to contribute any code, any feature in the real world. So that's why we're teaching that to you as well. And we're building a simple app there, going through, writing the tests, writing the features, and making sure all our tests are passing. So we're good to go on that. After that, we've done a lot of Ruby code on our web application path. We do a deep dive into JavaScript. Not only are we teaching you how to actually write JavaScript to integrate JavaScript into an existing Rails application and improve the user interface and the user experience of a Rails app, but we're also teaching you how to build a web application from the ground up using nothing but vanilla JavaScript. So you really understand how to use JavaScript and get your JavaScript level coding skills to the next level. Now, that's the web application track. In parallel, we have to go through algorithms, right? And if you think about what's the algorithm and data structure track, if you think about the simple coding challenges that we've given you in the intro course, right, where we said, build a 5, 6, 10-line script. The algorithms are the continuation of that. It starts out a little bit more complex than what we have in Intercourse, and then it goes all the way to searching algorithms, sorting algorithms, and things that are used in the real world for a lot of application. And that is what's going to teach you not only how to be prepared for technical interview and be ready to actually understand the computer science fundamentals that are really crucial for landing a job, but it also helps you to get really good at writing Ruby code and writing logic into your applications. And that's going to enable you to build more advanced web applications down the line. Now, these two paths are going to merge into the Agile Team project. The Agile Team project is crucial. It's 8 weeks long. It's something that really sets our graduates apart from any other students out there. And what we're doing there is we're basically going in and building a highly advanced web application the same way that's done in the real world. And there's a saying, the best applications out there are built by amazing teams. And we want you to make sure that you know how to be part of an amazing team from day one. And that is really the difference of you being able to be a high impact employee from day one, meaning you know how to hit the ground running by knowing how to integrate yourself into the workflow of an existing software engineering team. Now, what happens in the Agile Team project is that we're building a chess game as part of a team. Now, a lot of people tell me, come on, Marco, a chess game, that is not that exciting. But it is actually really challenging to implement. And if we talk to our mentor, right, senior developers and software engineers, people like Salesforce, eBay, PayPal, Shopify, Product Hunt, big tech companies, and small startups, they were impressed when they thought, wow, if I would talk to a job applicant and they told me that they build a chess game as part of a team, that's something impressive, because I had a lot of questions of what decisions did they make of implementing certain rules. And if you're thinking about how many rules there are in a chess game, there are a lot. So it's a lot of discussion, a lot of decisions that need to be made, and a lot of things that actually really quite complex to implement. How do you automatically detect checkmate? What about the castling rule? How do you validate that each move is correct and no one is cheating, right? And you can include a lot of advanced technical tools in that application as well. And that's what you're going to then use during a technical interview to talk about what you've built as part of a team, to demonstrate that you're ready to actually integrate yourself in an existing team in a real world setting. Now, that was our program, the web application path, the algorithms and data structures path, and how they combine into the Agile Team project. And by now, I hope you understand how big a difference that makes and how that sets you apart when you go looking for jobs, applying for jobs, and being in a technical interview position. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how do we actually help you land a job. And we do that by having now our job optimization search track. And in that track, we give you the strategies on not only where to find a job, where to look, but also how to present yourself, how to actually brand your identity as a developer, as a software engineer. We partner with Brand Yourself, online reputation management company that helps make sure your online reputation is solid and it's all geared towards web development, software engineering. So you get an account there, we deal with that. We teach you how to set up a funnel so you have job leads coming in, how to convert them, how to get offers, how to do the negotiation process, and all of that in over 50 lessons with tasks and goals and exercises going through. That should teach you plenty good how to fish and landing actually a job at the end, which is what plenty of our students are doing. Now, that was kind of the big overview of our program, what we're doing, the Intercourse. Go through that. I know a lot of you are already coding on that. If not, go to thefirehoseproject.com, sign up. It's 2 weeks, it's free. We help you if you get stuck. We have our forum, ask a question. If you spin your wheels, we help you out, give you answers, so you always can focus on learning and moving forward and never stuck spinning your wheels. Now, let me see if we have any questions so far. Quickly want to double check here on the Google page, see if we have anything here. Give me 1 second, I have to pull that up. That always takes a second to load. I want to check on the email. Oh, I got a few emails. Cool, that's awesome. Quickly gonna go through there, pull that up. Cool, all right, so one question is like, Are we actually teaching algorithms? Yeah, I just mentioned that. We do. That's something we start in week 2 with the continuation of our intercourse. Think about coding challenges, and this is really meant to teach you how to write really good Ruby code, and we also have JavaScript coding challenges to deep dive into JavaScript, so you have a really good grasp on both languages, and you can use them and choose the right tool for the job. So yeah, we definitely teach algorithms. That's one of the core principles, as well as data structures and computer science fundamentals. How long have you been doing this? Sally asked, and have you taught at Harvard? Yes, we actually did teach at Harvard, I think 3 or 4 times. We taught hundreds of students in in-person classes before we started our online program, and that's really where we learned how do people learn advanced technical concept and how do they understand it best. So when we say that we engineered our platform to make things click for you, that's really where that coming from the hours and hours and hours that we spent in the classroom teaching hundreds and hundreds of students how to understand web application development and software engineering. And yes, we've done it at Harvard. We've also done it at Carnegie Mellon, Babson, Brown University, and many more. That was awesome, and it really helped us get to the high quality of what we're doing. Why are we different? I always get that question. It's a good one. I think there's 3 main reasons. One is the depth of the curriculum, right? I don't see another program out there that teaches algorithms the way we're doing, teaches you that many web applications that are that complex, and none that teaches you test-driven development the way we're doing it, and also none teaches the Agile Team project for full 8 weeks, where you're under the wing of a senior web developer who acts as your technical lead for the Agile Team projects, next to your one-on-one mentor that you have in your one-on-one mentorship session, right? And that segues me into the next point, is our mentors, right? They're senior web application developers or senior software engineers at places, I said that before, Shopify, Salesforce, eBay, PayPal. They have decades of experience, and they take you under your wing. They didn't just recently graduate from university or another boot camp where they are graduates. They really know their stuff, and they're really good, and they're able to challenge you in each mentorship session and really take your coding skills from one level to the next, so you're ready for more challenges moving forward. And then the third one is our student community, right? Our community is always active in our Slack channel, in our social channel, on our community page. We have lightning talks that our students are running. Students are meeting up at conferences in person. They're meeting up to code and run coding sessions together if they're in the same city, and they're constantly helping each other out. And they're active even long after they graduated. So you're not just getting access to our platform, you're getting access to a really vibrant and lively community as well. I think those were all the questions. So awesome. Yep, I don't have anything else. I hope this was helpful for everyone. If you have any other questions, all of you should have my email. Just checking if I got no one. Nope. Let me know if there's anything else. Email me, sign up for a free bootcamp prep course, code with us, let's review your code. And then we can see if we can accept you in the full program, we can code with you in the full program. If not, you still have a portfolio page and learn how to write some Ruby scripts, which is always awesome. Remember, start coding today, don't procrastinate, keep coding, and stay awesome. And thanks so much for watching. Take it easy, bye now.